So you're ready to make the jump from a 12-volt solar system to a much more powerful 48-volt setup? Awesome. Making that move safely and getting it right the first time is exactly what we're going to break down today. We're going to cover every single step you need to know.
Look, I know you've probably seen other guides out there. A lot of them just say, hey, just swap your batteries or flip a switch to 48V. But that's not what we're doing here. We're going way beyond that surface level stuff. We're diving deep into what actually matters, the right way to wire everything, how to size your components, and all those critical safety details that so many people just gloss over.
And here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll talk about why you'd even want to upgrade the 48V Advantage. Then we'll get into some must-know electrical rules. After that, it's the main event, your step-by-step guide. And we'll wrap up with the most important parts, how to avoid some really critical dangers, and a final safety checklist before you power anything on.
All right, let's kick things off with the big question. Why bother with this upgrade in the first place? Well, as you're about to see, the 48-volt Advantage is pretty simple. It's all about getting more power with a whole lot less problems.
Okay, the first thing to really wrap your head around is this. When you go from 12 volts to 48 volts, you are literally dealing with 4 times the electrical pressure, which is what voltage really is. And that one simple change, it has huge effects on everything else in your system.
And this, right here, is where the magic really happens. Because that voltage is so much higher, to get the exact same amount of power, the current, that's the flow of electricity, gets cut down to just 1/4 of what it used to be. You know, think about a garden hose. If you crank up the pressure, you don't need as much water flowing to do the same job. It's the exact same idea.
So what's the big deal about lower current? Well, for starters, it means you can use smaller, cheaper wires. It means you waste way less power as heat, which makes your whole system way more efficient. And maybe most importantly, lower current generally means safer operation. I mean, it is a win-win-win.
Okay, so we get the benefits. Now, before we even think about touching a wire, we've got to cover the rules of the road. This is the why behind the how, the fundamental electrical principles that are going to keep you and your new system safe.
The absolute core of this entire upgrade is something called a series connection. This is how you take a bunch of smaller voltage batteries and chain them together to get a higher total voltage. It's as simple as connecting the positive terminal of one battery to the negative terminal of the next one, and so on. And check this out. The math is about as easy as it gets. Your total voltage is just the voltage of one battery times the number of batteries you have in that chain. So you take 4 of your 12-volt batteries, link them in series, and boom, you've got 48 volts. It's that straightforward. All right, next up, fuse sizing. You need to think of a fuse as the silent guardian of your entire system. Its one and only job is to sacrifice itself, to blow and break the circuit if the current ever gets dangerously high. It protects your expensive gear, and it protects you from things like shorts and fires.
So how do you pick the right one? Well, the standard rule of thumb is right here. You take the maximum continuous current your system will ever draw and you multiply it by 1.25. That gives you a fuse that's rated for 125% of the load. It's a nice safety margin that won't blow for no reason, but it'll definitely go when you need it to.
Okay, theory's over. Now it's time for the main event, your step-by-step upgrade. I can't stress this enough. You have to be safe, you have to be methodical, and you have to follow these steps in the right order. No skipping ahead.
First things first, preparation. And step 1 is absolutely non-negotiable. Power everything down. I mean everything. The solar panels, the inverter, every single load. Then, get your multimeter and double-check that you're reading 0 volts. Step 2 is to reconfigure your batteries into that series connection we talked about. And finally, step 3, you have to go into your charge controller settings and tell it that it's about to see 48 volts. Now, let's get it done. The execution phase. Step 4, and this is a big one. Check your inverter. Is it even capable of handling a 48-volt input? If not, you have to stop right there and get one that is. Next, upgrade your wires and fuses to match the new system. Then, the most crucial part, testing. Use your multimeter to check the voltage everywhere, at the batteries, at the controller, at the inverter, before you connect them. Only then, once everything checks out, do you make those final connections. We've covered the how-to, which is great, but now we need to talk about what is, in my opinion, the most important part of this whole explainer, avoiding the critical dangers. This is where a tiny little mistake can have huge, and I mean huge, consequences. Let's be crystal clear about the risks. Reversing polarity, hooking up positive to negative by accident, can instantly fry your equipment. Gone. Using undersized wires is basically installing heaters, and it is a massive fire hazard. Pushing more than 48 volts into an inverter that can't handle it will kill it. A sudden disconnect from your BMS while under a heavy load can create voltage spikes that damage other components. And then there's arc flash, a violent electrical explosion that can happen if you short the terminals. It's no joke.
I just want you to let this sink in for a second. A single short circuit can cause sparks, fire, or serious injury. The amount of energy stored in a 48-volt battery bank is immense. You have to respect that power at every single moment.
And all of that potential danger brings us to our final section. Think of this as your last line of defense. This is the final safety checklist that you absolutely must go through before you bring your new system to life.
Okay, before you even think about flipping a switch, go through this list one by one. Are all your power sources still off? Did you double and triple check your battery polarity? Are your charge controller and inverter definitely set to 48 volts? Did you go back and check that every single connection is tight? Are the right fuses and breakers in the right places? Do not power this thing on until you can say a firm yes to every single one of those questions.
So, after all of this, after all the talk about batteries and wires and inverters and settings, let me ask you one final question. What do you think is the single most important tool you need for this entire job?
It's your multimeter. It's not the fanciest tool, but it's the only one that tells you the absolute truth about what's happening with the electricity. Don't assume, don't guess, verify. Check your voltages at every single stage. Verify before you disconnect, and verify before you connect. Always. Your safety and your expensive equipment depend on it.